There's actually some reels that I wanted to show you that I don't know, I saw them a couple weeks ago, and these were basically from brick and mortar. It's a coffee shop, and they are making these like actual high production value web series. And they're not only are they like making like good content, but they're actually getting pretty crazy views on this stuff. Like let me just take a quick scroll through it. So 101K followers, which I mean like that's a lot, but still at this point, with an account like that, doing multi-million views is like crazy impressive. They're not really the first to do that either. So that one was Brooklyn Coffee Shop. And well, like with them, it's a made up coffee shop, but they're doing it, inside of a real cafe. So they kind of nod to the brand, but it seems like the creators are probably separate from the actual cafe, which overall, like that probably makes it fair for them because then they would like own all of the IP and it's their channel and everything. So that's probably something that helped them make the deal. They're, again, like I said, they're not the first to do this. There's this series here, What Happened Last Night, and yeah, it's just the same. It's the same thing. It's a series of characters, and it's all just based around being inside of these brick and mortar businesses.
Yeah.
So I just think right there, like, hey, I'm a production company owner, and mine is the type that owns all of its gear. So we have the ability to shoot things like this pretty easily, and that's why like we've had the ability to do a lot of short films that have gone to onto festivals and things like that on super low shoestring budgets because yeah, like if you just like own this gear, making content like that, it's not really that difficult. So I think there's an opportunity here for somebody who owns a smaller production company, or maybe you just have a nice camera and you've got a lot of friends who are into this type of thing. Getting past the teamwork side of it, there's really an unlimited amount of directions that you could go with for the industries that you could partner with for something like this. And again, like as long as you own the IP, then you shouldn't need to make like any type of complicated deal with the business that you're working with other than like, hey, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. If this content does well, your business will do well, and also my channel will grow. And who knows, maybe one day you get to make it into a feature film, and that would be their side of it. Yeah, like that's pretty much the business right there. And also, very importantly, it's a viral idea. It's entirely content based business.
Yeah, I think for brick and mortar businesses who have any type of social media presence, this actually makes sense on the investment scale because you know how most people who are baristas or waiters, any front of house staff, they usually have like the stereotypical, oh yeah, they're pursuing an acting career, while like making money on the side on like front of house retail, and it's like pretty common on this type of like community where if you just like make a win-win situation, this is like uh actually amplifying your social media with that kind of production content while also catering potentially your employees or front of house staff's kind of dreams. It's just like a win-win situation. And a lot of times your front of house staff personalities, these bar owners or coffee shop owners would value a lot on the personality of the person who on whoever that's like providing the main service or front of house service. So it actually makes sense for you to put that person on the social media page. A lot of times they sometimes are, but it's typically when I see it, it's like typically the owner themselves are just like bootstrapping that entire experience. But if you're a restaurant group or private equity group that owns a couple independent shops,
Think Chuck's Roadhouse. Imagine, dude, imagine if Chuck's Roadhouse had a series about Chuck just going about his life and also just like hanging out at Chuck's Roadhouse and just like chatting it up with the other regulars. Man, like people, I think there's actually potential for people to genuinely connect with content like that.
yeah. And then there was this one case where this dealership, have you seen this? The dealership
I don't
series?
think I've seen.
So it's this dealership called the Mohawk Chevrolet. So
Okay.
they're basically a Chevrolet dealership. But what they did on social media recently, or like starting last year, was they kind of created this web series on TikTok, and then they kind of blew up. Or it's like kind of a soft viral, but like still,
31K likes.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
insane.
They kind of blew up in these views. Essentially, they made this web series called The Dealership on their social media page, and it's essentially a remake of the format of The Office. So yeah, this is episode 5, and then they're real people that works at the dealership, but
These are not actors.
yeah,
In
these
my
are not actors.
examples, I'm certain that they probably got like union actors for some
Yeah,
of these things.
yeah,
Like it looked pretty intense.
yeah.
So,
I can recognize one of the girls that in some of these like sketch comedy pages. I think I saw some of her work, but these are real people that works at the dealership, and then they kind of just create these simple scripts of situations that they all experience at the dealership that are just like sometimes dumb, but it's like the perfect office format where it's just like minute things that they experience as people who are working at the dealership, just like small office drama. So this thing blew up. Clearly, this kind of content format will get you a great amount of reception. And plus,
yeah.
like, if you have a TikTok page, you can like upload like longer form of content, probably like up to 10 minutes if you get qualified. So I think if your brick and mortar business customer base is going to be your general kind of community. So just like create simple sketch comedy scripts that are kind of fun in tone, and then also activating your staff's talent that might have already existed, that
Yeah.
may have already went to theater school or drama arts, and just experiment with them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big opportunity for people who have access to people who are actors, definitely. But yeah, I think that really like the overall thing is like you look around any corner with stuff like this where you're doing it's just good content marketing that they're doing here. And you know, I think really at the end of the day, you could say like it's a web series. You could also do reality TV show for X business. I mean, like how many Netflix reality TV shows are there about like just different industries? And even within like certain industries, it's so popular that okay, there's got to be like 5 or 6 reality TV shows about real estate agents, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah,
Like it makes sense. I mean, I think it's a common I think it's a profession. Like I'm pretty sure like this is a bit of a tangent, but Chris Voss, his next book is I don't know if it's out yet, but I was like listening to a thing. He said his next book is going to be for real estate agents. So, yeah, like you clearly like it, so there's so many industries that have so many people in them, like just getting in that ecosystem and just selling to those individuals there, like man, like it's endless.
actually having experienced the whole like home buying and then negotiating the price on the night of after drafting up that contract, it honestly felt like a hostage negotiation. Like just the amount of pressure that you're placed within that incremental hours that you're trying to get a deal signed, it
Yeah.
honestly feels like a hostage negotiation, which like it totally perfectly aligns with Chris Voss.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Honestly, yeah, like they really do kind of like get you at a certain point. So, yeah, like he's definitely qualified for it. He could have written about a lot of other industries, but I think the fact that he chose that industry says a lot about how there's certain just like ecosystems that you really want to just like you really just want to get into. But yeah, so these reality shows, they're really popular in the real estate industry. So the question is now like what industry doesn't have a reality show right now? Or maybe it would be better off like in the case of doing the office style thing with what we would call scripted hidden camera content basically. It probably works well for them because it's like it's mostly in an office, well for it, so it would like feel so familiar. But like I think you got to like engineer those crazy moments. But there's also going to be industries where you don't need anything more than just doing documentary style, because everything that happens at while they're at work is crazy enough that like you don't need to script anything. Like you could just show up and film. I mean, even they I'll go back, Steel Factory. I bet there's crazy things that go on in steel factories every now and then, and you probably wouldn't really need to like script any of that. Like if you just have the ability to point cameras and record good clean audio of what's going on, then you've
Yeah.
got something good there.
Yeah, just cut out all the workplace safety violations and you're good.
Yeah. Note for the video team. Make sure like if you're gonna go to the with the steel factory to like a job site or something, like and they
Only
send you
do
into
close-up shots and then also like with a narrow field of view.
yeah. Don't get caught on the top like on the 70th floor of a halfway done building and you don't have your working at heights certification. Just like yeah, I don't know, just like be careful. Those people are out there too. What's to say you can't do this for a construction company? You start doing it for a construction company. Not only will you maybe make a successful series that's really good and you get some awesome IP for yourself, you can bill them for that. A construction company that has just content initiatives that they want to get started and they're down for this type of creative idea, they're going to happily pay you. Like they're going to understand why they're going to be getting benefit from that. So, yeah, like the examples I gave are these restaurants and cafes, bars, but that might not even be the right industry to target. Like there's other corners out there.
Yeah. I think food groups or these restaurant brick and mortars would be so simple to just make that decision to test around and experiment. Because the worst case for that page, for that business that owns that page, is that they have a higher quality of social media content to release. The best case is Netflix or like any of these like movie production or like series production companies. It could even be like Apple Plus or any of those independent or like medium scale production companies decides to pick up the story and then actually create a full out series or movie.
The numbers won't lie. Like, I mean, hey, I don't want to go on tangent again too hard, but to go back to the Mr. Beast thing. Mr. Beast went to Amazon and got a $250 million or whatever budget to make that show simply because numbers don't lie, especially on platforms where you're consuming video. It's like, yo, the views are there, the likes are there, the comments are there. Just look at it. So when these production companies and distributors are looking for the next films that they want to be funding, their smartest bet now is to either like, hey, I'm going to do a sequel to something that's already huge, or I'm going to partner with a creator that already has a massive audience and the numbers are all there. Like you just have to Google it. How many freaking subscribers do they have? And you see they've got like 100 million subscribers. It's like, oh wow, so I'm basically accessing a Super Bowl audience by partnering with this creator. So it's all of that to say, like, it's really simple once you start getting actual viewership for that to develop into a real deal to make a movie or a TV show that's getting broadcasted.
Yeah, it's totally all about the eyeballs and viewership. Like, I think for one of those real estate Asian or like the Real Housewives show, I think it was Lisa Vanderpump that one time that it was either some kind of deal that didn't strike up. She left the show because of that. But then she went to Bravo to create her own show called Vanderpump Rules. And now she's literally the queen of Bravo that started a bunch of different series on Bravo for these reality shows. So if you have the eyeballs and the audience, it's really, that's all these networks or TV productions need.
And it's worth working on, even if you're not seeing money from something like this immediately, or maybe you're not getting the viewership, because trust me, like, the end and goal is worth the journey that it takes to get you there.